I'm a podcast host, not a voice modulator.
I think I'm gonna be look at.
I don't get how you do that.
No, I think I'm calm now.
You're calm now?
Yeah.
I was going to start with that, though. I thought it was funny. I'm a podcast host, not a voice modulator.
It's not funny.
That's funny. I'm Bones.
Your bones?
I'm Bones.
Your ex-wife took everything.
She took everything. Left me with my bones.
The whole goddamn planet.
She took the whole goddamn planet. Damn it, Jim. Well, you look on the verge of death. Hey, it's when will it end?
When will it end? For Charles.
Soon.
Maybe
it
tonight.
Seems like soon.
Maybe tonight. We got. I'm feverish, but just like my bumper sticker says.
Yeah.
For the sake of the podcast.
For the sake of the podcast.
I'm gonna make one of those. I haven't yet. It's a lie, but
do it for the pod. Save it for the pod is honestly.
Save it for the pod.
That's pretty on the nose.
Do it for the pod. I think podcast. Do people know what pod is?
It depends on what level of like self-respect you've sunk to with this whole world of podcasting.
Right.
For me, like I have nothing left.
What about save it for the podcasting?
There are times where I will feel insecure and be like, maybe we should delete everything.
You don't have access. I have not given you access.
That is the comfort you're offering me in this, is that I don't have you're like, don't worry, you don't have access.
You don't.
Okay.
You send me the file.
I sure do.
You're out.
That's it.
Because I don't trust you.
Chop chop.
Yeah, we've gone over this. Co-EPs.
Yeah. No, we're co-EPs. You're right. Sorry. I'm the producer.
Yeah, I'm the editor.
You're the editor.
Yeah. Have you listened to our show?
I have. The outro is great, by the way. It's such a good outro.
It's different every time.
I know.
I record a new one
bring that Charles charm.
Yeah, it's spontaneous.
It sure is. And When Will It End is also spontaneous, but it's not at all because we watch a whole series of movies. We talk about each one.
That's true.
And in that sense, there's very little spontaneity. If we start a series, baby, we're going to finish it.
That's true. We're never going to leave you hanging.
No.
Unless we watch Cliffhanger. Is there a whole series of cliffhangers?
No, there's only one.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So I just want to set the stage here. I'm pretty sure I have like 102-degree fever.
I don't think
touch my head.
I'm not going to touch you right now. No.
Pretty sure I got 102 fever.
I gave you the good mic.
2 hoodies.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I'm regretting it.
I think it's actually I look great. But I think it might be because I'm a little subdued.
Charles is wrapped in my tie-dye. I was on tour with a band. We were in Salt Lake City, and I was rooting around the back of a record store. Actually, on a day that we recorded an episode of The Real Deal from the van. I called you from a van. It was very funny.
Yeah.
And
I like imagining you rooting around.
I was rooting around the back of this record store, and I came up with this like tie-dye hoodie, and I was like, "This is sick." And they're like, "Yeah, it's free. No one wants it. It's been back there for weeks."
Weeks? That's how quickly
Months,
they gave up on
years.
it? Jesus.
That hoodie was here before the store opened. Diabolical Records in Salt Lake City. What up?
What?
But anyways, yes. Now that's my sleep hoodie and my at-home hoodie, kind of.
Well, you should wash it.
I'm definitely gonna wash a lot of stuff after you leave.
Yeah. The cat.
My cum rag that I shared with you.
Yeah.
Which I regret.
Yeah, I'm so glad you told me a story on the car ride over that you were just about to start cranking it.
Yeah, I thought I had a window before you got to my house, but I was wrong.
How quickly is a session?
Oh, it's like laser focused. I mean,
really?
I'm 28. I've been doing this for, I don't want to boast, but a long time.
How long?
Oh, I don't know, like 15 years probably?
Yeah, I think that's about
20
right.
is a bit much, but 15 is just about right.
Goo
gaga. Yep, I was born... developed some vocal motor skills and then started masturbating.
Do you think that's what goo goo means? It's every child's desire to create ejaculate?
Okay. I certainly believe that J.J. Abrams has that instinct.
I think so.
This movie we watched today was a little movie called it's a great name, rolls off the tongue, makes sense, is good. Star Trek Into Darkness.
Star Trek Into Darkness.
Star Trek Into Darkness.
Star Trek Into Darkness.
Dark Trek Into Darkness.
I feel like it would be a good book for like a Booker nominated but not winning novel.
Yeah, it has
from
that sort of like
2006.
That sort of like pretentious vagueness to it.
Yeah, not Star Trek, but if it was like some other 2 words, like clean house into darkness, or ghost parade into darkness or something.
That's good. Ghost parade into darkness.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
I want to get into this movie. I think we actually have a lot to talk about.
I don't know, man. My brain's gone weird.
Yeah, you look ill.
Yeah, I am ill.
Okay.
I'm gonna be fine. I'm so hot right now, but I fear that if I take off this hoodie, I will just succumb to cold.
Yeah.
And won't be able to speak. So I'm gonna stay hot, stay wet.
Yep. The mic's nice and hot, so just go ahead and
as I said, look at I'm looking good, man. I'm a little.
Don't be wave self-conscious. Don't look into the wave file. It's okay.
All right. Why do we keep it up?
Well, just to know what's going. It's comforting. We don't have we don't have the luxury of an actual producer,
yeah.
right? So
you do. You are. Don't sell yourself short.
Oh, I'm playing double duty. Okay, let's get to the movie. Okay, so
all right.
Star Trek.
Really want to get into this?
Well, there's a lot to talk about.
There is a lot. It's a long movie.
Star Trek Into Darkness has the fascinating problem of both cohering into a visual style that's so much less. A lot of the complaints I had about Star Trek, the whirling, the moving, the lens flares, though there's still a lot of dumb lens flares. This movie settles into a way more coherent editing, pacing, etc. tone. And it starts somewhere I wasn't thrilled about. It grows to a pretty good center and then disintegrates into basically a really irritating mess.
Are you describing Star Trek Into Darkness or the garden you attempted to grow last fall? I'm so sorry.
We have to dump this now.
I'm so sorry.
We need to end this.
No. You just sound like you started off bad and then it grew and then it disintegrated.
That's not what gardens do. And this is not a metaphor. I'm describing the movie.
Damn it, Josh. I'm not a... Remember when that guy gets his...
Do you want to do this tomorrow?
No, let's do it now. Okay. We're going to press forward. Right. Remember when that... Yeah,
just stick with me. Okay.
I'm gonna,
the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be making some good points.
So far, 0 for 12 or whatever. Star Trek Into Darkness, I think it starts out with like us seeing them in the field on this planet. We see them like dealing with the questions of the actual mission.
Yeah.
It sort of coheres more into like, we're sort of catching the end of what would be an episode of the show otherwise.
Right. Yeah,
it starts that's a nice way to go. In media res.
I like that. Yeah, you love that. I think what I noticed immediately is that it looked really great. The old movie, the old one, the first one, it's pretty old.
Years and years ago.
Yeah. It looked... We actually compared it a lot to Shrek. We did it last episode. We're going to do it again this episode. The first one was like in the same way that Shrek exists in that forest and in Duloc, and that's it. Like Star Trek, the first one is just like Vulcan looks like a barren wasteland. Earth looks boring like a college campus. It's like, what the fuck? This one starts off, we're in a red forest, blue dirt or some bullshit. It looks great. I think it knew what it wanted to grow into.
Yeah, absolutely.
Much like your garden.
Oh God, no. We're immediately like there's a volcano. There's like the Enterprise is underwater. The boat is wet underwater, and Scotty's like, it's crazy. We're underwater with the boat. And
do the accent.
Nope, not coming close. Right. I think I'm done with that. We learned our lesson from the Shrek.
Oh, that's right. Same accent.
It got really bad during Austin Powers. So I want to give our listeners a break.
A little break. Yeah,
no accents. Yeah,
there are a lot of accents. We're not going to do any of them.
Yeah, okay, so basically we see them out and about doing an actual mission. They're dealing with the prime directive. They're sort of in the guts of it all, and there's consequences immediately. They fuck up. Kirk does some Kirk bullshit, and like we sort of like the ball gets rolling a little bit, and I like it. Now, I think it's important to get as quickly as possible to the villain, because that's really, in my mind...
You're cruising right along.
Well, we can slow down a little bit if you want.
Yeah, let's slow down. Let's take our time.
Well, I want to talk about Benedict Cumberbatch.
We haven't even met him yet. There's so much that happens before he even shows up, right?
I suppose so. Like we have the classic, they're still trying to outline the difference between Spock and Kirk, and that's starting to feel like the real paradigm for all of these movies.
Right. I think that's what is immediately clear and what really holds the movie together for me for most of it until the very end, which we'll talk about later. But like very quickly, we learn the stakes, we learn the dynamic between Kirk and Spock, and like one's too by the books and one's too like just goes by his gut. And that's like they're friends, but they can't quite align.
And I like that they're at odds over something. Kirk breaks the rules and Spock reports him without even thinking about it because it's just in his nature.
Yeah.
And they have this conflict that's very real and feels very earned. But also, like, they're not immediately split asunder. Like, they don't really want to part with each other. Like, I think I like that they try to balance that tension where Kirk is upset with Spock, but like I think it would have been a long reconciliation sequel would have been like a little bit too soon, maybe. Like we need to see this really grow out a little bit more. I think that was well put together.
Yeah.
But we're also identifying what has to me become the major problem with these movies is like this. You said it in the last episode. This is a movie about men for men.
Yeah, it's a boys' club.
There's the shockingly small amount given to women to do in this sequel was like I was overwhelmed by that.
Yeah, everything that Ahura had very little to do in the first one, but at least she like had a couple of scenes. Here, I don't even really. I mean, she sort of helps out at the end, but like does nothing. Like
Sulu gets to play captain. Chekhov gets to help save the ship.
Yeah, he's
Scotty does a lot. They're like deliberately doling out stuff to people except for the women, and they introduce a new female character who gets kind of one moment, but like
the moment where she takes all her clothes off.
Well, I mean, God, okay. I think this was the much derided moment in this movie.
Yeah, and
it's for good reason. Like we saw Uhura undress under the flimsiest of pretenses in the last movie. In this one,
it doesn't even.
It makes
like,
no
it seems
sense.
to like cut something out. It's like, wait. Why? What?
She's like, quick, we got to go to this shuttle, just you and me, Kirk. And she's like, look over there. And then they cut to just a shot of her standing like a Victoria's Secret model, just in a matching two-piece.
Everyone's got great underwear in this movie.
And it really is so gratuitous and useless.
It's crazy.
And then again, she's given, other than having her leg savagely snapped later by the main antagonist and watching her father die in the most horrible way possible, at least she doesn't fuck Kirk at the very least.
That's true.
That would have been given this, I think that would have been like an automatic, like, fuck this series. Like that would have been the worst. Right. But this is bad.
But yeah, and she could be fucking him later. Like that's how it sort of feels at the end. Like she's like, oh, thanks for being a part of the family. And, with all this incest porn out there.
It's true. And we need to talk about incest porn.
Again.
We really do.
Yeah. It just seems like, oh, well, that's where mine goes. If we're part of the family now, she's going to walk in on him masturbating or she's in the shower.
They're not literally in the same family, Charles.
Oh. I thought he said...
If you watch
I watched it.
If you watch a woman's father's head get crushed in front of you, you're part of the family.
Right. Emotionally.
Yeah. But if they're step siblings, like in incest porn, like on like in the middle ground incest porn where they try to keep it like, well, they're not blood related.
Yeah.
I might just go the distance.
I know.
It's already porn.
So tame.
I know. Get real. Anyways.
Real.
So that's that for me, it's like this emerging trend, that is a huge red flag to me where I'm like, we need to have women doing anything.
Right.
And again, I'm talking as someone who has seen Avengers Endgame and has seen like the Marvel universe build up to a point where women, and again, look, it's Marvel. I'm not delusional. This is not like a true, it's a.
Are we talking about this?
Because those are movies that are sci-fi movies that are fun and engaging, that have women doing awesome shit that's interesting and on the screen and cool. Yeah. And it's like, we're 2 movies deep into a franchise and it's like, they don't know what to do with women.
Right.
And I'm like, where are we going with this?
Yeah. I think you said they don't have women doing anything. I think also they don't have a woman being anything. And that might sound like a syntactical just correction, but I think it's like, yeah, they don't do anything because they aren't anything. Their characters are boring. They're weak. They don't have anything to do. So I just wish that maybe J.J. Abrams, he leaves, right? He's no longer
This
involved.
is the last J.J. directed movie. I'm certain he's involved in of all time.
He was just like,
no
too many underwear shots. Get him out of here.
No more. Yeah.
I like that. Who is that? Who would have said no more to
no
Abrams?
More. I don't know.
Spielberg, maybe?
Yeah, probably Stevie.
Yeah,
he's
Stevie.
like, JJ.
No more.
No more.
Isn't that the famous line from Jaws? The shark says, no more.
No more.
When he bites that lady.
He's chopping a cigar. And, yeah.
No more.
No more. Okay, yeah.
Famous catchphrase.
So Kirk is demoted. His ship goes back to Bruce Greengraw, his fake poppy.
Greengraw?
McGill?
McGill. We're just going to call him Bruce McGill.
Bruce McGill.
I know he's a different man that's very scary.
D-Day from Animal House.
Yeah, very scary man.
So scary looking. You were so scared to see a photo of D-Day from Animal House.
But Bruce McGill, now the real one.
Right.
I wish he was my dada.
He vibes dada really good.
He's such a good dad.
Yeah.
He's so much better than my dad. And just like in every way.
Right, your alt-right dad.
Yeah. This guy's so compassionate. So like he thinks about the everybody as though they're all equal.
Yeah.
He tries to bring the best out of his son. Did you notice how the Admiral keeps calling Kirk son? And I really like that there wasn't a line where it's like, you're not my father. It was like sort of subtle enough that we got that he was demeaning to him and like trying to take over for that father role. But
yeah,
he's RoboCop.
Okay, you're running ahead here. Okay, so basically Kirk is demoted. Old happy green Bruce Greengraw becomes head of the ship again, and there's the big old boat.
Yeah,
they call it the Enterprise, and there's a terrorist attack in old London town. Just a note, it wasn't foggy at any point.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And that's a huge... I don't know who fucked up.
Wait, maybe.
They probably that's probably why JJ got fired.
What can I offer an opposing theory?
Okay, yeah.
Oscar Wilde said, life imitates art.
Wow.
Perhaps the Council of London decided enough with all this fog.
We're done with it.
Let's start shooting some movies in the sunlight.
You know, Oscar Wilde once quipped to, on his deathbed in a grungy hotel, he said, someone's got to go, me or this wallpaper.
Good line.
And they died of like consumption or whatever bullshit people died from in the 19th century.
So yeah, they probably just were like voted on it and were like, can we just make no more fog movies?
No more fog.
And now life imitates art.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
So a mysterious man played by one Benedict Cumberbatch himself.
Wait,
Doctor Strange.
Came in his own butt?
He sure did.
Wow.
So Benedict Cumberbatch plays the vaguely named John Harrison.
Yeah.
Who commits a terrorist attack, and everyone's like, but why? And Kirk's like, it's strange. It's like a library. Why would he blow up a library?
Why are you saying it like that?
Because in high school, we had one teacher, a substitute teacher, who was like, I hate it when kids say library.
So now you just do it?
Yeah, and I'm like, fuck you, man. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
My stance on language is that if you know what I'm talking about, it's fine.
Right.
Because it's the same shit when people are like, the rap music, they don't even, the grammar's all wrong. It's like, I don't think you're deliberately obfuscating. I hate it. If someone says library and they mean library, just go with it. Who cares?
Yeah. That's the there's a lesson in that Dragged Across Concrete movie.
Yes,
which
thank
you're not
you.
really a huge fan of that guy.
Craig Zoller seems cool.
Craig. S is Greg Zoller. You forgot the S.
I'm so sorry, Greg. Craig.
Yeah.
Craig.
Anyway, yeah, he made the same point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's very powerful shit.
It sure is. I'm happy you interjected with that.
S.
Yeah.
Good power.
Mel Gibson.
Oh.
Okay. So there's a big old meeting of all the top brass, including who you were alluding to earlier, one Peter Weller as Admiral
RoboCop.
Yeah, Admiral RoboCop. And Kirk's like, maybe this whole thing was a ploy to get all the top brass in one room, like this room. No.
Pop, 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 pop,
and then
pop,
in full
pop, pop.
Matrix style,
Benedict
just starts ripping through the crowd with a machine gun,
Yeah,
killing old Brucey. He's like, he doesn't. He's just like,
yeah, really.
Yeah.
What I got to say about this movie is, up until the very last
20 minutes,
it's dark.
Yeah,
and it's like believably dark and affectingly dark.
And because they nail down the direction and have a much more like clean editing style, it's like it hits a little harder. It's sort of like the Captain America Winter Soldier. It's good. I think that's actually a very good parallel because that's like a movie where it's like the idealistic leads confront the fact that they might work for corrupt people or compromised people.
America.
And here's the thing about this movie. It's very complicated.
It is. But so is the first one.
I got a little lost. This is true, but this one it's like, okay.
You did fall asleep during a sort of important, probably 3 minute.
I closed my eyes.
Yep.
Which is American freedom to do.
That's true. I'm not going
to
disagree. I just did want to point out that your confusion might have come from missing the scene where
they explained everything. I will say that this movie had a lot to give it credit in its veracity to Star Trek. There was a lot of people standing around and talking at great length, which is the core of Star Trek. Like it's really not like Star Wars. There's a ton of people expositing.
You didn't buy him either.
I think Cumberbatch's performance is all over the place. And I don't
I like that you've been mispronouncing his name for so long, you don't actually know what his name is anymore.
Cumberbatch. Okay,
BC.
I'm going with BC. BC's performance in the beginning, please. When he's like, when his intentions are vaguely evil, I don't like it. He's just not emoting very much.
Yeah.
As they become more clear, I also don't like it because it's like, he's like, now, as we understand later, he's putting upon a victim narrative when in fact he's actually quite a nefarious fellow.
Right.
Khan himself.
Which
is, by the way, a huge mistake.
Yeah, huge mistake.
They make a
the way
huge
they
mistake
did
in the
it
movie.
too.
Yeah.
But even itself, I think you're right. It's a mistake, but they just like fucking
They really
went
fuck it
for
up. Yeah.
They went for it.
We have to address it at this point. They graft on this like fourth act of the movie where they just repeat, the Wrath of Khan, and they reverse Kirk and Spock and the sacrifice, and it's like they just blow their load on this huge moment in the original Star Trek movies, and it feels hollow and sweaty, and like, why?
Yeah.
And like when Spock does the epic Khan yell, it's just like, okay, this like it does not work.
How many takes do you think that was?
Khan!
Do you think like he nailed it first time, or do you think he?
Look at the building crescendo I got on that.
That's so good.
Yeah,
You're a pro.
I'm a pro, babe.
Do you think he got it right on, or do you like that? Seems like a very hard thing.
I don't know JJ's style.
Yeah, you're right.
Maybe he's like, hey, just riff.
Yeah,
just riff.
Do you think that movie was just shot,
they shot it
in
chronologically?
camera?
They shot it scene by scene, like chronologically.
Yeah,
in camera edits.
Edited, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a lot of just like static and weird blank spots.
Yeah.
No.
They do that thing where they shoot it and then they cut and then you walk out of frame and then they start the camera again, but we have it on a
He's
tripod.
gone.
Oh, where did he go?
Yeah. Right. So again, this movie is just kind of all over the place. In the middle, when we're in the guts of like, okay, like it turns out that the Admiral has given these torpedoes to Kirk to go get revenge on Khan, to accidentally to like deliberately stoke a war with the Klingons, and like it's sort of fun, and like the evil Federation warship that Khan built for the Admiral, that's cool and different, and we're seeing like a much darker tone. But it's also like we haven't really seen the Federation do that much at this point.
Right. That's a great point.
It feels like we're like launching into like, but this thing is nefarious. When in
Right.
reality, it's like, I'm pretty sure they wait in most of the Star Trek series some time before we really get into like that. There's enough of an episodic feel to it that when they really break up, oh, maybe the whole thing behind all of this has been for nothing. It feels a little bit more impactful.
And I think you're right that they are counting on us knowing the series to really know that, like, we're used to sci-fi to be like ship shit is all space battle-y stuff. So if you're not a Star Trek fan, you don't really know that they're like peacekeeping missions and just, I mean, you sort of do, but like having the main admiral be like, I'm a warmonger, like it would make way more sense if they spent some more time explaining to us really what the Federation's all about.
But then also on top of that, there's no Klingons in the first movie.
Right.
And then they're like,
yeah,
we're almost at war with the Klingons.
Like,
like,
what?
oh, okay. Well.
But like, it makes sense because I watched The Next Generation and sort of know that the Klingons were bad guys except for that one guy.
Worf.
I almost said Teal'c.
There's actually a lot of good Klingons as we keep watching.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just they rely again. I think that's this movie's really good at some things, but where the first one used your expectations and sort of subverted them, this one like required you to have knowledge of Star Trek for it to really make any sense.
Yeah.
Which, if we're talking universes, and especially standalone, not good.
Yeah, this felt like a deep dive, and the darkness ultimately, I think, weighed the whole thing down. And like, I don't want to jump ahead in the very carefully structured nature of our podcast. I remember liking the third one because it feels like a lark, and I've alluded to it in other episodes of this show, where I remember the Simon Pegg penned third one is just a lot funner, and I'm really banking on that because like I'll level with you, I'm kind of when will it ending this one because the ending of this is like exhausting. It just goes on.
I think it doesn't know what it's trying to do. Well, it does. I think that's actually, I'm mistaken. It knows exactly what it wants to do, and it makes it very clear. The whole thing where like Spock and Kirk, one of them's too wild, one of them's too not wild, and we get a very explicit swapping of roles. Like, this is what you would have done, and this is what you would have done. And like, they alluded to it much nicer and subtler throughout the movie, and then we have this whole last 20 minutes is such... It's like so extremely like obvious what they're doing. Yeah,
basically Kirk manages to save the ship and
by dying,
and BC, aka Khan, is crashing into Earth. And I guess I kind of thought he was just dead at that point.
I know and
then like, no, he's gonna 9/11 San Francisco, and we have to like have a stupid fight scene with Spock, and like Uhura helps out kind of, and like it's a 2 hour 50-minute long movie.
Right. We haven't brought this up. We're out of the tight 90.
We busted right out.
We've been as bad as Austin Powers and Love Guru was.
They're short.
Tight 90s. We did so many tight 90s. It's
Love Guru, I think 88 maybe 88 minutes. Yeah, it's a short movie.
Yeah, not tight though.
It could be a lot shorter.
Could be zero. Could have been a tight zero.
Again, if you haven't watched it, don't watch the trailer. That's more than enough.
Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah. Oh, we're not out of though. There was some nut crunching in this movie.
Yeah.
We did see BC slammed Kirk's nads.
Yeah, and Ahura stabs. Was it Ahura? Yeah, Ahura stabs Klingon nads.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I said. Nice.
Are they as wrinkly as the foreheads, though?
We don't see
We
them.
can presume they are, though.
I hope so.
I bet Chris Pine looks majestic naked.
You think so?
I think so, yeah.
What do you think is better? Klingon? Chris Pine?
Klingon.
Yeah?
I want to know what's going on.
Yeah, that's true. It's sort of like the Enterprise.
Exactly. What's going on in there?
Has gone before.
Exactamundo.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Another problem with this that I have is that the best parts of the Next Generation, and this is sort of goes on to like, if we ever do the Harry Potter movies, we'll get into this as well. The best part of the Next Generation and the Harry Potter books is that all the dumb shit that just happens every day in this like very active place that has stuff going on constantly and all kinds of communities and all kinds of whatever. The episodes where like Picard has to like host a children's class to talk about his job and he hates it. Like,
right.
That's the meat of these shows. That's why we like these people, because we see them living. When Harry and Ron and Hermione are off in the hallways being like...
They have Christmas break and they have to stay at school all by themselves.
Yeah, and then there's like a chapter where there's like bored as shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's why you grow to love the characters.
Right.
So in this movie, to like... We've just seen the Enterprise get the fucking shit kicked out of it. People getting ripped around and killed by the score. And like... It doesn't land us hard because we just don't really have that much experience with the ship. Regardless of the bigger things it's doing, we see it from the exterior. I really want to have more going on inside and get the culture of it more. Because when they're like, that ship's a military ship and we're not. It's like, well, we don't really see that expressed very much.
We only get it because one's big and black and the other one's small and white. I mean, what?
I don't know.
You just let me. Yeah, that was it.
I just want to see where that trailed off into.
Oh, it was just one's the tropes,
ominous, looming
in the shadows.
The other
gleaming,
creamy,
not vegan.
Why not vegan?
Because it's creamy.
It's a boat.
It's creamy.
You can get a creamy effect with coconut milk.
That's so true. Thank you.
And what's silk and tofu?
Can you speak more on this? Because I don't
speak on this.
I think
I was
most people.
Vegan. I'm not vegan now.
That's okay.
This is a good.
You're still doing your
good
part.
Profile. A ex-vegan movie podcaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a current vegan.
Hey, if you're listening, as of recording, we're both taken. So sorry. And Charles is dying of consumption in front of me. You look. I'm watching you die. I think.
Yeah, it's hot in here.
It's funny because in the movie, Spock is so sad when Kirk dies, but I'm like, we have to finish the podcast.
Right.
So I would, in a few minutes, maybe we'll be more concerned.
Well, no. I mean, I'm going to be like at the end. It's like I'll do it. You would die for the podcast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just inject you full of Benedict Cumberbatch's blood.
Yeah, that's where it got real dumb.
Oh my God. Yeah, okay, one like. So yeah,
Kirk sucks that we're so negative because for like literally 100 minutes of this movie, I was like fucking into it.
Right, but they fuck it up. Okay, like when we're like,
it sucks.
The second Kirk goes into the radiated chamber, it's like if you know the original movies, and maybe it's not fair to do this so one-to-one, but if they're bringing in Leonard Nimoy at this point, I feel like, you know what, like he's like, that's Khan. We fucked with that guy. It was intense.
Wait, he told. Yeah, that's
right.
He told.
So if they're going to draw that, I'm going to draw it too. The second Kirk goes in there, it's like he's not going to die. They're not going to kill Chris Pine.
No.
And then we know that's not going to pay off emotionally. So the death scene is just really bullshit.
Right. They should have just there should have been another way for them to be like, we're buds. We learn from each other, and we're better because we learn from each other. He doesn't have to fucking die and then come back to life by a Furby accident.
It's a tribble, and it was on purpose. Bones does a tribble experiment with Benedict Cumberbatch's blood, and it brings the tribble back.
It's not. It's like penicillin. It's an accident. He's just fucking around. He's a doctor.
He just injects that fur ball with whatever.
He's got a million of them.
He's just shooting with stuff.
You also fell asleep during the scene where they have a million fur tribbles.
Yeah.
Sorry. What is the Furby? Was like a 90s toy.
It was. Yeah. We had
very
one.
Creepy.
Remember,
shit.
I think at my small Jewish day school, all of the parents did not want to get any of their kids a Furby, so they did a brilliant thing where they got a class Furby.
Was it giant? Did they get like a giant?
Yes, it was proportional to the number of people involved in the purchasing of the Furby.
That would be so
yes,
good.
That's how it works. That's how it works.
Yeah.
You can ride the Furby. No, but I want to talk more about series management. I think they busted out so much shit in the second movie.
Right.
Like, the Federation is corrupt.
Right.
Kirk's gonna die. Like, it's the second movie. Chill.
Yeah.
You don't need, like, it just felt like a real wad blow.
Right. And it also was really cheap in the way that it did sort of exploit our emotions without any real payoff.
Yeah.
So it tried to do so much. Like, it had a very complicated bad guy and another very complicated bad guy. And they're just like, Benedict Cumberbatch BC is just like, you think he's the bad guy, but maybe he's the good guy, but then he's the bad guy. And then the Admiral's like, oh, he seems pretty aggressive, but I guess he's a good guy. Oh, wait, no, he's a bad guy. But wait, maybe he's got a point. Like, they tried so hard to make everyone seem like really complicated and real, but it was just really complicated.
I just can't stop thinking about that time that girl took her pants off in front of friggin' Kirk.
Oh my God.
She's like, don't look at me. And he just stares at her. And she's like, what? Kind of fuck this movie.
Yeah.
I guess because there were parts of it that were coherent and exciting.
Right. The editing was so much better.
Yeah, it felt like almost like Mission Impossible at times. Like, okay, the big action set piece where they hurtle through space, where Khan and Kirk hurtle through space from ship to ship as the two hang dead in the air. Like, that was like a really good sequence.
Yep.
And then again, it's just like all for nothing.
The scene where BC smashes that man's head.
That was crazy.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was the darkest
But also the end of the movie is like, we're all buddies and now we're starting our 5-year thing. It's like, why wasn't that the end of the first movie?
Right.
And also, how did we get here now? Like, I guess like Shrek grew exponentially. And then, I think by 4, maybe bit more than I could chew.
What equation we got?
What do you mean?
Like a quadratic equation, like to map the parabola?
I think it moved, its forward motion, what made sense to me.
Right. And then 4 just sort of like...
And then 4 was like, okay, I think this is just hard to manage, something of this magnitude. Even Austin Powers grows in a way that makes sense. Even if 2 is not a very good movie, I think when you get to 3, it feels like the third movie. This is, I think, really a moment where... It's like a very noticeable wobble where they're trying a lot of stuff, which is admirable, but it's not earned. And the lack of the earnedness really is like very apparent. So it'll be weird, again, if the third movie is like I remember it and it's a bit more of like a lighter movie, it's going to feel like the whole series is kind of like off kilter.
Totally. Would you pardon me if I used a phrase that you use frequently?
Okay.
Is it okay if I steal one of your phrases?
I will charge you, but go ahead.
This movie wanted to have its cake and eat it too.
Yes, I thought of that phrase, so it's mine.
Right. Yeah, that's yours. I'm going to use it because they wanted to have like an Empire Strikes Back vibe. Sorry, not going to talk about Star Wars, but it seemed relevant. They wanted to have that middle dark vibe, but then they still end it like it's a happy ending to like the first movie.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
They
should have just killed him. Honestly, Kirk dying would have been incredible. But
that would have been such a statement.
How can you kill those?
Well, I was watching, and we're not doing Marvel, but I watched an interview with the Russo brothers, and they're talking about how like
who's that?
The fellas behind Winter Soldier, behind not Ragnarok, excuse me, behind Infinity War, behind a couple other of the big ones.
Gotcha.
But they talked about like we really wanted to end all of those movies or like do like wild shit with all those movies.
Right.
And I guess like that's a cool model to try to ape. And this is 2013, I think. This is like 4 years after the first one. We're certainly in a post-Avengers world at this point because that's 2012. So like that whole, I imagine there must be some sort of parallel thinking to like, okay, the stakes of this kind of like, self-aware, self-referential, meta kind of science fiction series. If we have more scenes, I think this is the last Leonard Nimoy one, but like this movie has Spock talking to Spock like the first one, and it's like,
is he dead by the third one?
He's not in the third one.
Did he die already?
I believe so.
Good.
Don't say that. Leonard Nimoy, a good guy.
I know, but he doesn't have to do this shit anymore.
He probably got a big old paycheck though.
Yeah.
Big old fat
What else
paycheck.
was he doing, do you think?
What does he have to do? I mean, like Leonard Nimoy's just like a cultural icon.
He did that Hobbit thing.
He was a photographer, a musician.
Yeah.
His Bilbo Baggins song is huge.
So good. Bilbo Baggins, famous Hobbit of them all.
Yeah,
so good.
Remember our movie song?
Yeah, I don't.
Watching movies.
That's not it.
I'm making one up right now. Watching movies. Star Trek Into Darkness sucked.
That's good.
Thank you. I agree.
You have a career in music too.
You think so?
No, I know you do.
Oh, I sure do.
You currently do.
Yes, it's because of my melodies. It's what I'm so well known for. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
you can do it too.
I can do it too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, another problem with this movie. I want more bones.
Oh yeah, that's so
Give
true.
me them bones.
That's so true.
I want to be sucking on those bones.
Eat the meat right off them bones.
Suck the marrow out them bones.
Oh my god, what's left? Just nothing but bones.
Nothing but bones.
That's what we
Carl
want.
Urban is a gift to the world.
You think there should be a spin-off?
If there was like a Bones Netflix series, you better fucking believe I'd watch every episode.
Yeah. Wow.
And like, okay, again, as they parcel out material in this movie, Scotty gets a lot. I think they realize that like Simon Pegg works in this, and
what was he
he's
doing
great.
at the time too? I think he was in something that was surprisingly popular. Was he?
I don't know. He did like
Bust out your phone, baby.
You just did like the little do it.
Bust out your phone, baby.
Like, I busted my phone out.
Yeah,
God.
yeah, you love that shit.
I do love my phone. I'm a millennial. And I'm addicted to my phone.
You have that sewed right onto your fingers.
It's basically like a new extension of my friggin' hand. Okay, he was in Paul in 2011, everyone's beloved movie Paul.
Maybe it was Star Trek that I was thinking of. Yeah, probably Star Trek.
When did he start getting into Mission Impossible, though?
Oh, that's what I was thinking of. Mission Impossible.
Yeah, cast and characters. Oh god, there's an elaborate table for this one.
Are you on the wiki or the IMDb?
I'm on the wiki.
That's your problem right
Wiki,
there.
wiki. What? Okay, how do they have it organized? Okay, Ethan Hunt.
This is good. This is really good content. You were yelling at me earlier.
Yes, shut up.
Talking about gardens.
Okay, so he was in. Just please stop talking. Please stop talking.
I am a gardener.
He's in full JJ mode now. He's in 3, which is 2006.
Right.
Then he's in Ghost Protocol and Rogue Nation.
Yeah, which is 2008.
2011, 2015. There's
it's a
5-year. Well, hold on, because it's 1 is 96, 2 is 2000, 3. And there's big gaps there.
Yeah.
We're only recently in this golden era. We're only waiting like 3 years.
But I think that's like he sort of is making his name as like a weird comedy relief action movie star.
Well, I mean, I think Shaun of the Dead is huge. Hot Fuzz even bigger.
Paul,
everyone loves. I think not a day goes by where Charles won't call me up to quote a line from Paul.
Is that the Alien movie?
It's the Alien movie him and Nick Frost wrote that no one knows about.
What about the one where he's a runner?
That's Run Fat Boy Run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a name.
What a name. Isn't David Schwimmer in that?
I don't know.
The Schwim? The big bad Schwim?
The bad Schwim. I don't know
original,
who that is.
Ennio Morricone's original score for The Good, Bad, and the Ugly was David Schwimmer. He actually... Yeah. It was the Schwim.
Wow, I'm good.
That was really good.
That was great. That sounds just like it.
I was like, where's Eli Wallach?
Who's that?
Yeah, he's the ugly in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Yeah.
That's sort of mean.
Fistful of dollars.
Sort of mean, I think.
Fistful of dollars.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
You think old Chris Pine got a fistful for this one?
Yeah, that's good.
It's pretty good.
You're dead.
I'm
you're
having
dying. Some problems.
I know. I'm watching your brain ooze out of your ear.
Yeah, and my nose.
Yeah.
You can probably tell that I have all stuff up.
You're all stuff up. Our listeners can certainly tell.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
It's in
guys.
the cans.
You can hear it in the cans.
Oh, it sure can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can.
If you're listening at home, drink a lot of water, drink a lot of tea.
Yeah, this might spread
Blow your nose.
through.
You may have gotten a cold from Charles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where I got it.
You live in Boston. It's like an open trench.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I also stopped drinking. And I'm wondering if the beer was like really helping my immune system.
Well, I think here, can I guess what happened here, honestly?
Let's do it.
You quit drinking.
Yep.
And you lost like 5 pounds, which for you is a perilous situation.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, you miscalculated. It's still cold out, man. You needed that beer layer.
I did.
With that gone, you're just like a toddler in the wind.
Oh, God, that's so good.
A tyke on the tundra.
Oh, my God, these poor babies.
These poor
They're
babies.
dead.
Who will be the baby of the year?
Where else would you put a baby? That's perilous. I guess USS Enterprise, probably.
Enterprise, very dangerous, always exploding. Oh, did you like all the sideways stuff as the ship careens? We have a lot of them running around the ship.
Oh, I did like that.
A la
I liked a lot of this movie. I think it's one of those movies
Inception.
Where the problems with it are so bad that it ruins what's really good about this movie.
Again, I'd say a lot of the action sequences work really well and are a lot of fun. Like,
yeah.
I think, again, like Scotty gets a fun bit of like, you know, as they're hurtling towards the ship from outer space, he's talking to the security guard, gets like cute little quip in. It's great.
Yeah.
And like that's what I want out of this. It's like little hijinks and adventure.
Yeah, he's like, who's that counting down?
But there's so many like exposition scenes.
Yeah, you were wise to sleep through it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I should have slept through it.
Also, it's like you get Peter Weller, for Christ's sakes, and it's like
he was good.
He was good, but I think poorly served with him. This felt like an episode of Star Trek, which is not really what I want from the movie.
I think it did and it didn't. It did and it didn't.
Okay.
I'll say it one more time.
It did.
And it didn't.
Okay.
I didn't get to say that. It did and it didn't.
And it didn't.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it still had so much shooting.
There was an awful lot of shooting.
So I think that's what I was talking about earlier was like, if we're going to believe that these are peacekeeping missions, both movies have had a shitload of violence in them.
Well, also,
which happens in the show, but like they seem to be on war missions all the time.
The show deals with like morality, racism, sexuality, capitalism,
robots.
Oh,
the robot man was real cool.
Oh my God! Stop everything! Stop everything! Okay, screech. They reveal. Okay, so part of the show's like bullshit, like fake liberalism, that they just show like people, like diverse people around. Like, look, there's a black woman there. There's an alien here. There's like a man there holding a stick or something. And like it means like nothing. None of them get any depth to them at all.
Right.
Like basically, I feel like we've met everyone we're going to meet at this point.
Yeah, it was such bullshit. It was like, look, there's a black woman with shaved head, and there's a black woman with an afro, and
but they're not talking.
Right, they don't do
anything.
They're just like, look, there's people that
they can't even give Uhura lines.
God.
Anyways,
Uhura,
excuse me. I did a poor job there.
That's fine.
Sorry.
You're mispronouncing everything. But you know what? I learned. If I can understand you, who cares?
Who cares, right?
Yeah.
Hey, life's a peach. Eat it.
You can say library.
Library.
You can.
I sure did. But no, okay.
Can you say library? Put your lips together.
I can't.
It's pretty good.
Okay, so remember,
I understood you.
In Cloud City, in Star Wars, so we're not talking about Star Wars.
Man.
Lando has the cool guy with the head brain computer thing.
4-alarm or some bullshit. No,
sure.
that's somebody else.
If it's a 4chan.
4-alarm is the bounty hunter that looks like a turtle bug.
Yeah, that guy.
No, this is somebody else. I forget his name.
We get a Robo-Man on Star Trek who got a big port in the back of his head. He got like cybernetic eyes. He's like a big Aryan-looking guy and had a hole in his head.
It was so cool because the first time you just see him from the front, you're like, whoa, who's that guy? He looks like a robot.
He's handsome.
And then it shows you the back of his head. He's got that
There's a hole in it.
And you're like,
there's a blue hole.
That guy's cool. Why?
I want to hear his whole story.
Yeah.
In the Bones spin-off Netflix series that I'm now producing.
He's a sidekick.
He's a sidekick.
Yeah.
And Bones is like, damn it, man, there's a hole in your head.
Damn it, man.
I love that so much.
Yeah. We should have got him on the podcast.
We really should. Hey, Robot Guy, if you're listening, please.
No, whatever's the Bones.
Oh, Carl Urban?
Yeah, we should.
I bet he's got free time.
Yeah.
That sucks so bad.
To us.
What's he up to? We got to find out.
Come on, man.
What?
Come on.
Okay, let me ask you this.
You're yelling at me and you're fucking on your phone all
I'm looking up Carl Urban to find out what he's doing.
Ugh.
You're doing nothing for the podcast but complain right now.
Yeah. I deserve it.
You look like you're dying.
I earned it.
How did you earn it?
By dying.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I wish you died in a contamination chamber for a good reason. You'll just die normal.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I could.
My guess is normal or kicked to death.
Yeah.
God, he's having a. I'm worried. Oh, he was in Thor Ragnarok as Scourge.
Who was that?
I don't remember.
We've been talking a lot of Marvel and a lot of Star Wars this episode.
I think it's because this is a movie that pales in comparison to the contemporary films coming out around its time.
I'm getting up. Let's talk about.
You sort of leaned forward and leaned back, so this rush of energy is not translating.
I'm trying to get dizzy.
Okay.
What?
For those listening, Charles is at his best when he's dizzy. You get him good and dizzy.
Yeah. Oh my God! They remember in middle school or elementary school they played that game where you like spun around your head on the bat.
Yeah.
They didn't know.
You know what they called it?
What?
Dizzy bat.
Yeah, dizzy bat. They didn't know that was really how I played best.
Wow.
So they're like, Charles, keep spinning. You're still too good.
They're like, what's your secret? And he said, my secret is I'm always dizzy. Okay, end of podcast. We're done.
No, I like this. This is fun.
Dizzy bat. Yeah, go ahead.
I think let's talk about what we liked because this is getting depressing.
No, we've talked about things we liked.
I know, but let's just a little moments on the positive
side. Let's turn to 3. We'll go there.
Yeah.
So I think we're both doing a light when will it end right now, where it's like there's enough of a structure here that I like, but the big problems are hard to overcome right now. I think they've mismanaged the flow of the series. I think that the inherent sexism is getting a little appalling.
Yeah.
What I like is that you have fucking Zoe Saldana. She's great. Give her something to do. Okay.
Yeah.
Cast a woman as an antagonist. That's something to do.
I think they do, right?
I honestly don't remember.
I don't either.
The
poster for the third one is very rainbowy and has I remember like the lights, and it has a woman on she's like looks menacing. I think she might be the bad guy.
Well, again, I feel like we're watching the series. One, we're going to watch it jump to a new director, Justin Lin of the Fast and the Furious series, who of course he did Tokyo Drift among other Fast and the Furious, which is a very colorful movie and very different from the JJ style. But also, again, we're really watching the Marvel thing blow up here, and I think that cosmic psychedelic outer like that has to bleed into this a little bit.
Yeah, I think
we got
you're
a little bit of it here, but not a lot.
Much.
When they go to the Klingon planet, it's like we're in like a dark temple or something.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of the Wet Boat.
Yeah, Wet Boat. Hey, R.I.P. Wet Boat. I kind of miss Wet Boat.
Yeah, I mean, they tried. I think the new dark ship was not quite as wet.
It was very dry.
It was pretty cool though. The scene where they fly into it was cool.
I like Scotty running around that empty boat. That was cool.
That was very good. See, there's a lot of boat themes still. I think that's great. I hope that
they
continues.
live in boats, Charles. There's going to be boat stuff.
Yeah, so I hope that continues. I hope they don't suddenly shift and we're no longer having boat shit.
What if they become like a biker gang? They're all on like Harleys.
That would be so off in space.
So yeah, space Harleys. They're fucking
pretty
tight.
Cool. Wearing leather.
Yeah,
vegan leather.
Vegan leather.
Why? Yeah. Why? Do you think everyone in the Federation is vegan at this point?
Okay, actually, there's a lot of speculation about this because they talk about how the replicators are those inherently vegan. It's replicating matter.
Right. Replicating matter.
When it makes you a delicious, fucking bleeding steak. Hey, rare? I want one of a kind.
God, you're just riffing.
I'm full of them. Shit. I thought of that. My joke. Definitely not a Tim Robinson bit we watched earlier today.
Yeah.
But no, so the question is, are they all vegan? Because the replicators. By the way, here's a huge fucking complaint about this series.
Sure.
No replicator discussion.
Right. They talk about a lot in this. I think I like that this one brought up the first paradigm or whatever. The prime directive. Yeah. They brought up
and immediately violate it, which I like.
Yes. Yeah. They brought up a few things that were like a part of the Star Trek series. Can't think of any others because my brain is very hot.
Yeah.
But I remember the prime directive.
Which is?
Really vividly.
Which is?
You can't fuck with people.
I think that is what it is in the movie, too.
Yeah, you can't show them. Can't show them anything.
Don't show them your boat.
Yeah, I like that you...
Hide the boat.
Anytime a ship erupted out of everything, you're like, yeah, that's what happens when my dick pops out.
It was funny.
It's so good. I really liked it.
Because people were like, ooh, or no.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
It is really good. And they sort of look like really weird smashed dicks.
Right.
Yeah, like
the aliens, sorta. The early aliens caked in the white paint or whatever. That's a weird, but like I
don't know if I liked it.
It was very Apocalyptico. I immediately thought of Apocalyptico, which is like...
It's also a little shitty to like... Let's just sort of use vaguely like Aztec or Incan.
The painted savage.
Yeah, just to show that they suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like... They're like bowing before bullshit. Like it doesn't really paint an accurate depiction of what I believe. Probably they were real people back then. That's the problem with history.
There were real people back in Star Trek.
No, and like ancient shit. Like when you learn in history class, it's also quiet. Does that make sense? Like when you're in like high school, like you get no voices and like all you get are like the buildings they built and the wars they fought. Like you don't get any. Like you're like these people were so fucking dumb because they didn't have wheels.
Hold on. The Aztecs had that really cool, like, almost basketball game where they would, like, decapitate the winner.
Yeah.
That was sick.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
They also use the word savage a lot in this movie.
They
like,
really
literally.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's like, it's a problematic film.
It's just all over the place. I don't know. I'm going to the third one with, like, the enthusiasm of knowing that we're changing. Like, I think if we didn't know there's a new director and a new writer, I'd be nervous. Because I'm like, man, if we're really...
Is it a new writer? Oh, yeah, it's all Simo.
Simo the Peg Man. Peg. Well, it's also like, I think these guys also wrote some of the Transformers movies. And, like, you definitely in this one get that, like, this is a fucking lot of bullshit. Yeah. Like, there's so much shit in this. And it's like... And I think you watch those Transformers movies, there's a shocking amount of plot in this movie.
I remember that. I just saw the second one and I was like, the fuck? This is like 6 movies. Can we please just calm the fuck down and show me robots?
Those movies are legitimately crazy.
Yeah. And I like that guy who's in it. The older guy who's
John Voight?
No.
He's
like,
in those.
He seems like a lawyer type character.
He seems like a lawyer type character? I don't know.
Yeah, like like the lawyer in Jurassic Park sort of guy.
Oh, yeah.
Like wears shorts and a button down.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I like him.
Okay. Yeah. You like the old guy in Transformers too?
Yeah.
Hey, get excited when we eventually do Transformers.
That would be great.
There's an old guy.
Oh, there's Bumblebee.
In shorts.
I think he wears pants. Oh, no, there's a scene where he loses his pants. He's in his boxers.
I bet Bumblebee was a huge... I didn't see it.
I didn't either.
Perhaps unsurprisingly.
I feel like so many movies in 2004 to 2009 just had women showing off their ass and boobs for no reason.
You should
and like we're maligning like the Star Trek movies, but like it was just that was the culture then, and it sucked.
Well, the whole story of Megan Fox auditioning for Michael Bay.
I didn't hear about this.
It's like whatever. It's very awful.
What happened?
She was a young person.
Yeah,
and
how
he was
old?
Basically, like drench her in grease.
In the audition,
basically, yeah.
Did they make
she talks about that experience, and it sounds like it was like about as demeaning and shitty as it can.
Do you think Will Smith went through the same thing for his audition for?
They doused him in grease for I, Legend.
No, for
iRobot.
Bad Boys.
Yeah, Bad Boys. They drenched him in grease.
Yeah,
Bad Boys 2 is an amazing movie.
I haven't seen it.
The shit just got real moment is actually one of the great moments in film.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I would love to rewatch those because it's stunning to think about those. It's like wow.
Is there a first one?
Yeah, Bad Boys and Bad Boys 2.
It's like seems like a Trolls situation where like I've only heard of Bad Boys 2. I don't even know if Bad Boys exists.
Is the culture defining iconic Michael Bay whatever piece? But there's the first one too. Cool. They were on TBS a lot. Your soul is leaving your body.
Yeah. It's like
I'm gonna burn everything you've touched the second this is done.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's the sound of fire.
What? It's Owen Wilson's doing it.
Yeah. Wow.
Man, what if Owen Wilson popped up in one of these suckers?
Oh.
I'd love that.
What director would you want to take over for this series?
Well, this feels like, the first thing I thought of was the Taika Waititi effect.
Yeah.
Bringing in, now again, I've heard debate about this for people who like Thor the Dark World. They see Thor Ragnarok as kind of like a fuck you, where it's like, you took this seriously, you're a fucking idiot, this is dumb. But like, man, the shot of life that movie has is unbelievable.
So good.
And to see like Star Trek, I want to see a movie where like some wacky, weird space shit happens. That's like more about celebrating the exploration.
Tim Heidecker,
dude,
would fucking kill at Star Trek Beyond. That would be such a fucking masterpiece.
That'd be very strange. I think it'd be very funny
because it would be so fucking dark and strangely funny. And I think Chris Pine isn't quite the right actor, but I bet Tim could like beat him down into being one of his actors. I think he's got potential.
You know what? Put him on the list, baby.
Tim?
Put Tim on the list. Hey,
all
Tim,
right.
You're on the list, buddy.
I don't know what list. I don't know where it is, but it's on the list.
It's in our hearts.
Mine's falling away.
Yeah, slowly but surely.
Yeah.
Do you feel much like the Tribble before the Quiver?
The Tribble Before the Quiver, another Booker-nominated novel.
It's a memoir about growing up in London in the 70s.
The Tribble Before the Quiver. What's the Quiver? Oh.
When Bones' science experiment comes to life. He like reanimates a corpse, basically.
Yeah.
And they're just like, this is good for this specific thing, not a huge, massive,
sucks.
Okay, also, they introduce, early in the movie, they have, Khan shows up, and, the way he, coerces a Federation guy into bombing the thing in the beginning is by, bringing his fucking daughter back to life with his blood.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of like any of these movies where you introduce, there's a thing that brings people back from the fucking dead. You're like, how is this not a much bigger part of this?
Right. Yeah, it was also, he's a doc. He says it over and over again. Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor. And he tests one fucking Tribble and then uses it on humans.
Hold on. He waves his wand around at a lot of stuff.
That's a wizard's tool.
In the future, I think doctors are wizards.
Yeah.
That's the explanation that works for me.
Much like the past. Leeches, Tribbles. You think Tribbles are used as leeches?
I think we should bleed you tonight.
That would be so fun.
You just bleed it to balance your humor as we'll bleed out some of the bad stuff.
We don't have any leeches, so can you just...
I'll just suck it right out.
Cut me 1,000 times. Wait, then you'd get sick. I don't want you to get sick.
That's very thoughtful.
This is like the end of Star Trek where I'm in a tube.
And you're like, oh no, Josh is going to die, but not really. There's no suspense. They put Kirk in the cryo tube.
Yeah, they didn't even address.
He's just fine.
You know what they addressed was cryotubes don't exist anymore, so these are the only ones we have. And then suddenly...
They kick someone out. Get out.
They just rip somebody out. What'd they do with them?
No one knows.
We gotta put Kirk on ice.
It's so weird.
Kirk on ice. Kirk on ice. I could fry a vegan egg on my forehead right now.
A veg?
A veg.
Did this come and go? I remember that was a big deal when they came out.
An egg substitute.
I think the enthusiasm kind of died out.
Yeah, I don't really know what you'd use a substitute egg for.
I think this is for people who want to eat a straight up vegan egg. Like, no, not a substitute. It's like, I want an egg, but I'm vegan.
But like, what do you want an egg for? It's a very
delicious.
It's a classic question.
What's
an egg for?
For eating?
For eating, for birthing.
Nah, that's a distant second.
A distant second?
Sure.
Really? That's
you want
your
more
stance?
chickens? Come on.
Yeah. Well,
I want an omelet.
Yeah,
you can't make old stinking omelet.
You can't make an omelet without killing a few hundred chickens.
We have never seen them eat.
Oh, good point. We were talking about that. The replicator doesn't exist.
But I think in so many of these movies, the breaking of bread and seeing all the weird food, the thing that Star Wars, like, I think, look, you can say what you will about JJ's Star Wars.
Yeah.
But the fucking quick bread, that shit rules.
Yeah, you know what else ruled was Ocean's 11 when fucking Brad Pitt just eats in every scene.
That's many Brad Pitt films, but yes.
I know. I just feel like that just adds to a character. Like, you just throw him some food, you see the way he eats, and you learn something. You know
I think what Star Trek is missing right now is a simple slam dunk mission that bonds them together.
Right.
And we've just launched into this other thing.
Yeah, we went
and that's what feels like the whiplash here.
We went from them being like, oh, we're friends now, to them being like, immediately, you suck. You're doing it all wrong.
But like plunge into the deepest darkness of our whole thing is fucked up.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
And I really wish they'd showed me that head.
Yeah.
That's my biggest regret.
What if Ben and Matt wrote it and they said it in Southie?
Dude, fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. I can't. There's no good words you can say in that accent.
No, it's tough.
We've
talked
tough.
about this.
Yeah, it's hard.
To go true Boston, it's
you
off
gotta be repulsive. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really awful.
We'll just beep it all out.
Yeah.
No.
Star Trek Into Darkness, it's the Boston of the Star Trek series so far. Not good.
Not good.
Not good.
You know what? We're glad it wasn't wet.
Yeah.
Because Boston gets so much worse when it's wet.
It's amazing. I've said this.
Yeah.
Okay. That being said, you're about to pass out, I think. We've talked this to the goddamn dirt. Star Trek Into Darkness, this is a wobble. I'm a little concerned. I have fond memories of the third movie. We're going to go into it with our hearts open.
Right. I have bad memories of the third one.
Okay.
So I'm not... I feel like it pivots too hard and becomes unimportant.
Course correction is tough. I remember that Into Darkness got some a lot of critical, attention for good reason. And I'm hoping they get back on track because I think there's a core of this that I like.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks to say, but the boys are good.
The boys are good.
Fucking, the boys are good. Pine and Quinto.
But you know what?
Fucking boys are good.
We got to get some girls up in this.
Yes.
Because the boys aren't carrying this shit.
Well, they are. I think they are. I think it's the writers that aren't carrying this shit.
They're probably boys too. They are boys.
They are boys.
3 boys.
Hurwitz and whatever.
That's 5 boys total. Not Hurwitz.
Is it?
No. You're a fucking anti-Semite.
Wait, what? Why?
And we'll see you in the next episode of When Will It End?
When Will It End is a podcast from Josh and Charles Productions with Josh Landes as producer and Charles Hobby as editor. As always, we want to thank Waste Management for the use of their song Windblown Dirge. And if you liked us, you can rate us and review us on iTunes. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all as @WWIE Podcast. And you can send us emails to wwiepodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. See you next time.